Well. This 1 minute sequence easily was one of the hardest sequences we've ever produced, and it kinda almost broke me. Ultimate Smash and Stuff is a machinimated web series in which we take control of the Smash Bros fighters and move them around and add little voices and video editing to create a story. In an attempt to really show how powerful Samus Aran is, I decided to pen a scene where she takes down a starship. I knowingly wrote this scene with the intent to use 3D animation to really tell the story, but there came a problem. I literally don't know anything about 3D animation and how to do it. So I asked my friend Daniel Pazzaroni for help, who's very seasoned in ripping animations, models, and using them for Blender. With his help, all I had to do was show him exactly how I wanted the Great Fox starship to fly, and he would then recreate that in the 3D animation software Blender. So I grabbed my Lego Star Wars Imperial Star Destroyer and threw up a green screen and basically mimicked how I wanted the ship to fly, and it was kind of fun.
Your whole hand is covering it.
Every shot you see the Great Fox in this scene was actually filmed for reference with my Lego Star Wars ship, although you never see that in the final cut. Once the Great Fox shots were completed, I then had to work on the background shots so that the Great Fox would be flying through the skies of Hyrule. Originally, the scene was supposed to take place in the Mushroomy Kingdom, but unfortunately the camera for that stage and the lack of detail on the stage really made me had to change the scenery. This is why I decided to use Hyrule from Breath of the Wild as the stage and the setting for the sequence. You see, I could now mod Breath of the Wild's camera, then I could get sweeping vistas of the Hyrule map to add to the background of our Great Fox shots. But I also didn't really know how to mod Breath of the Wild to begin with, so I asked my friend Chris Z to help me out. The process was really tricky to get the perspective just right, so as a pre-visualization, I used the Fortnite map because that already has a free camera built into it, and then asked Chris Z to replicate those camera angles and motions. Finally, once the background was done, I could add visual effects, which was a simple element drop, which I filmed on a green screen stage in Invisible Smash. Everything was looking great until I had one more shot to do. The cockpit shot.
Hands off my cock!
Eventually in the scene, the Great Fox gets blasted out of the sky with Falco inside of it. And I really wanted to add weight to the scene by showing that he is in fact inside the Great Fox, as to not mislead people that he might be controlling it remotely. But there really isn't an animation in the game that would depict Falco at the controls of a spaceship. So I had to turn to my friend Z Epic for custom animation. He not only made a fully lip-synced animation for the shot, but he also sculpted a chair and controls for Falco to use, which was way above and beyond than I even asked for. The journey to complete this sequence was really long, but incredibly fun to be collaborating with all of these artists and putting all of our best foot forward to make it work. When I initially filmed that pre-visualization with the Star Destroyer, I actually filmed that in February of 2021. And then the actual episode didn't even release till August of 2022. That's not to say this is a sequence I would work on every day for a year and a half. It was a very on and off process, as I was also working on episode 0 and episode 7 at the same time. But it's kind of to give you an idea of how much planning actually goes into the show to make it work. For the final episode, I definitely want to employ the use of custom animations once again to really sell those little beats and moments in the story I can't really do in normal machinimation. That is to say, with the finale coming up, don't expect like some Monty Oum crazy backflip off each other moments. Nonetheless, those sprinkles of custom animations will be there, so keep an eye out. And if you want to help with the completion of this series, check out our Patreon, and if you do become a subscriber, you'll actually be put in the end final credits of the sequence as part of the show. Next week, we will be putting up a final short trailer and due date for the dual finale episodes, so stay tuned.
Well.
Once again, it looks like I'm gonna have to save your tail, Foxy.
Fox, we're here!
Falco, charge main blaster cannons.
One step ahead of you, Foxy.
Hey!
Fire!
Watch out!
Samus appears to be neutralized.